Jerry Rice bringing us on the air to all the GOATs out there, and there is the greatest receiver of all time. And in the same stadium tonight, another GOAT, Jim Brown, coming out west to see his Browns. As the Browns won the toss and they said, we want to see if we can keep that offensive momentum going. They will receive. And that means we will say hello to Baker Mayfield, last year's #1 overall draft pick, making his 18th career start.
Offensively, we kind of found our identity. I got more in the tank.
See if Baker Mayfield can continue the production that they had last week. A lot of running the football, play action pass, and he succeeded in that. Let's see if they do that tonight.
He's got Nick Chubb in the backfield with him, coming off the 165-yard effort. And this is OBJ to pass on the very first play as he gets a completion to Jarvis Landry. Odell Beckham Jr. opens up with a 20-yard completion to his best buddy.
Yeah, just OBJ on like a fake reverse. He's got a receiver going deep, but he decided to hit Landry going short. Everyone was thinking he was going to go deep, but nice read. OBJ acting as if he was a quarterback. He told us last night he had a little something up his sleeve. How about the Browns getting it started early?
And now trying to go back to him and get him in rhythm, incomplete. You know, that Browns offense, early on the offensive line was a struggle in week 1, played much better a week ago.
Well, they put him in bad situations, dropping back, throwing the football, having to block big on big. Last week they had 2 tight ends on the field, 12 personnel, 1 back and 2 tight ends. They ran the football. Most offensive linemen want to run block more than pass block. They were in 12 personnel. The second play, they're in 12 personnel again.
Saw a much more efficient Browns offense a week ago. As there was movement, the flag reigns in. Ron Bogart, referee.
False start. Offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Harrison Brown are the 2 tights to the left side of this formation on 2nd and 15. And here is Chubb as he is met by Nick Bosa, the rookie out of Ohio State. Of course, Bosa just part of that loaded defensive line for San Francisco.
Well, that's what they want to dominate. They have 5 first-round picks up front, and they can play a myriad of positions, but they're going to be led by that group. I want everyone to notice the stance that the defensive linemen get in. They're going to be in these track stances. They have one motto in San Francisco. They trample the run on the way to the quarterback. Should be fun to watch.
One thing to watch out for, you go through that starting lineup, is number 41, the corner, Emmanuel Mosley, is making his first career start. 3rd and 13. Baker looking to make something of it. And going up after that ball downfield was Ricky Seals-Jones. Incredible effort at the end of that play. 31 yards here.
Yeah, Cleveland is hurrying up. I believe they're going to take a look at that one. I don't know if he got that second foot down.
And they're straight to the line. And here comes the whistle. As it looks close with that second foot trying to stay in. Let's take a look here.
San Francisco is challenging the middle of the field.
Ball in hand, 1. Second foot out.
That's that toe heel that they talk about. Take a quick break as they take a look here. Well, as we thought would be the case, they ruled it incomplete. I mentioned the toe heel, John Perry. Let's bring in our officiating analyst.
Left foot, toe down, no delay, heel out of bounds, incomplete pass.
So that wipes out the long reception on that 3rd down. Ricky Seals-Jones went up after it. And on comes Jamie Gillan, the rookie punter, who's the AFC Special Teams Player of the Month. Only 4 of his 20 punts have been returned. Richie James back for the Niners. Cleveland opened up with OBJ with the pass to Jarvis Landry. By the way, the 500th career reception in the career of Jarvis Landry.
He's been the most dominant slot receiver statistically in this league for the last several years.
So here comes the guy they call the Scottish Hammer, the rookie punter, who skies this ball in. As they look to scatter, and it takes a good Cleveland bounce inside the 20. So here comes Jimmy Garoppolo, 6th season, but this only his 14th career start.
A lot of juice. It'll be a fun atmosphere, that's for sure. The quarterback, it's my job to finish that. That's the exciting part.
Last time we saw Jimmy G on Monday night, 0.0 quarterback rating. Said the knee was bothering him. The knee's gotten better. Let's see if he plays better.
We got a word for that. It's called preseason football. Now they're undefeated. It's in there in October. And he's got this running game working, as you see, with Matt Breida. And look at the speed on Breida. What a way to start it. 83-yard touchdown. Career-long run, 83-yard touchdown on their first offensive play of the night. And this place is roaring.
Let's watch number 44, Kyle Juszczyk, and number 85, George Kittle. It's a zone play. Watch him come back. You have a seal here, and with the speed of Matt Breida, one-on-one with the safety, but that's all set up by the zone blocking. Kyle Shanahan told us everything we do starts with the outside zone. We're going to see how they adjust to it. And look at Matt Breida. Number 23, Randall, had 0 chance whatsoever. World-class speed there. Look at Jimmy G.
You want to know how fast world-class speed is
Please
when you
tell me.
open up a game like that?
Yes.
Next-gen stats just clocked him at 22.3 miles per hour.
That's fast.
22.3.
That's really fast.
A week ago, everybody was raving about Nick Chubb and his 88-yarder at 21.95. That's 22.3. Fastest run of any ball carrier in the league this year, and it comes on the opening offensive play for San Francisco. 22.3 miles per hour.
I mean, it's just a great play. It's the wind back zone. Everybody on the offensive line is going right. Juszczyk goes right, comes back left. Breida follows him. And Kyle Shanahan does a great job of getting his backs in space, one-on-one with defenders. He does as good a job of that as anybody in football, and Breida did the rest.
Now, right back out there is Mayfield and Chubb. Pressure from Bosa, and it is intercepted by Richard Sherman. Bosa had the pressure, Sherman with the pick.
We've been waiting on Nick Bosa to get off. Look at him. Bosa pressuring the quarterback. forces Baker Mayfield to throw it out, and then Richard Sherman getting the pick. Hello, 49ers.
Nobody has more pickoffs since 2011 than that guy, and he's mic'd up tonight.
Sherman just does a great job of reading the quarterback's eyes. He may not be the fastest cornerback in the league, but they're playing this 3-3 rat. He's reading the quarterback's eyes, and he made a play on the ball. Nice play, Sherman.
49ers happy to have Tevin Coleman back. Play action, Garoppolo throws it to the outside of Kyle Juszczyk. Now, the 49ers last year, they had a record low 2 interceptions all of last season. That was now their 6th already this season.
And I tell you what's changed. It's the play action. Excuse me. It's the defensive pressure from the defensive line. Bosa getting pressure led to the Sherman pick. And then offensively, Tess, when they run the football, then it sets up the play action. Just now we saw Juszczyk couldn't make the catch.
Juszczyk had a great block there to open up Breida on the 83-yard touchdown. Now Shanahan wanting to talk things over, and they will use a timeout. And you think about this NFC West and how top-heavy it is and the quality of play that we're seeing. The show that Seattle put on earlier this week. The Rams sitting there after a tough loss, the missed field goal, but 49ers, the Seahawks, and the Rams. I mean, this is loaded right here.
It's very loaded, and I think when you look at Seattle and how Russell Wilson is playing, he's an MVP candidate. I think you have to favor Seattle. And then when you look at the North, everything that's going on, the Steelers on their 3rd quarterback, the Ravens, have we figured out Lamar Jackson or not? So this is a huge game for the Browns tonight.
Remember, the Browns went to Baltimore, got the big win. You get them at home later in the season. As Coleman comes back into the backfield, missed the last couple games with an ankle injury, and he will get work here. And he is wrestled down that time by Sheldon Richardson. So one of the big concerns with the 49ers offense coming in was, hey, Joe Staley's not there, the 6-time Pro Bowler at left tackle going with the rookie School.
But they do such a good job. I understand individually, School against Myles Garrett, you probably favor Garrett, but schematically, Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers do such a great job with the zone run, sets up the pass protection. So School is going to feel like he's protected tonight.
Yeah, man, that's really what it's all about. If you get that outside zone going to play action, it helps out with the pass protection. So 3rd down and 9 now for Garoppolo. After the interception, what do they do with it? And the ball comes out there at the end. As it was Samuel and then Terrence Mitchell coming in.
It's an incomplete pass.
And they're going to say it's an incomplete pass. As Mitchell came in, you saw Goodwin go to recover it, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Mitchell does a good job. Debo has to catch, but a la Peanut Tillman, Mitchell and every DB in the league is doing that now. We saw Marlon Humphrey do it yesterday, the punch. Even though the receiver catches the football, they're coming across with the punch and knocking the football out. Somewhere Peanut Tillman is smiling and saying, man, I need to patent that move.
Yeah, the squandering great field position right there, Boog. I mean, that's a golden opportunity.
Yeah.
Just thrown away by the 49ers as Wisnowski comes on to punt here. Looking to pin him as Landry will set up shop at about the 11-yard line, and that is where he comes up with the fair catch.
Nick Bosa gets the pressure. He may not have the sack numbers, but watch him work. You're going to put a tight end on him. He gets pressure on Baker Mayfield. And then Richard Sherman doing a great job of reading Baker Mayfield's eyes in zone coverage. They play a lot of single high, whether it's man or 3-deep zone. Defensive coordinator Rob Salah says, I want my guys on defense to have vision, especially when you have a corner like Richard Sherman.
Baker Mayfield now 21 interceptions since the start of last year. That's more than any quarterback in the league. Chubb trying to test the middle of that 49ers defense. He goes ahead for 3 yards. Had that 88-yard touchdown run last week. 165 yards rushing overall and the 3 touchdowns in that big win.
I love it. You know, talking to Nick Chubb, it just like, how do you function on a team with so many stars. Mayfield, Beckham Jr., Landry says, I just want to go out and do my job. I want to be the silent assassin, and he runs hard. He's the ideal football player.
Well, I mean, you talk to everybody, you say he's such a quiet guy.
Yeah.
You spent some time with him on the phone this week. It's interesting how that personality can translate to on-field success. 2nd and 7, Mayfield. Downfield, open was Beckham Jr., but it was overthrown and incomplete, and it's going to be 3rd and 7.
You can see the adjustment they're making. Play action, and Baker's just a little bit off. He turns Sherman around. Ball needs to be a little bit lower. OBJ goes up and tries to get it. I do like what Freddie Kitchens is doing so far. 12 personnel, 11, whatever they're doing is play action, allowing Baker to try to get in rhythm. That's the adjustment they made last week. They're trying to do it again this week.
OBJ has their only completed pass. Mayfield's 0 for 4 with the interception thrown.
That's not good.
And now it's 3rd and 7. And there's the pressure again, and he goes down. That tremendously talented front, and then you add in K'Wan Williams coming in, and Robert Saleh's defense is off to a very good start.
Yeah, they're bringing pressure. Watch number 56 here, though, Quan Alexander. He's going to be one-on-one with the back, and that's a mismatch when you get a linebacker with that kind of speed and that kind of power. Tampa didn't want him. The 49ers said, we'll take him. Quan Alexander beating a one-on-one block against a back.
You know, 49ers just the 2nd lowest blitz percentage in the NFL. You usually don't bring it because they can get it done up front. And now Gillen just gets it off as he drives this ball back. I mean, Jamie Gillen's got a big, big leg here. 69-yard punt. 7-zip, San Francisco. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve. This is September of '93 on Monday Night Football. Belichick and the Browns defeating the 49ers 23-13. Steve Young was picked off 3 times that night. Mostert, and this is exactly what they want to look like offensively as he goes ahead for 6.
They're in 21 personnel. That was counter OF week. Kyle Shanahan doesn't like to call a lot of counters. They're more zone blocking, but it was a simple counter play, more of a gap scheme. They employ a fullback. Not many teams in this league still use a fullback, but because of the versatility of Kyle Juszczyk and how they use him, man, he is a weapon.
2nd and 4, and look at this. George Kittle, the tight end, coming around with the carry, and he is something when he gets that stride going. 17-yard run by George Kittle.
Yeah, let's watch number 69, Mike McGlinchey, and number 44, Kyle Juszczyk, as they come around the corner. Look at Juszczyk, just a jack of all trades, getting a seal block there, and Kittle showing a little versatility there.
There's Garoppolo, and as he goes underneath this time to the fullback Juszczyk, and you hear the crowd. They're so appreciative of him. 8-yard reception there.
You know, he's so good. He's a fullback. So you have 2 backs. You have 21 personnel, 2 backs and 1 tight end. But he can shift out. He can be a tight end. So now 21 can go to 11 personnel. And if you really want to get fancy with it, they put him out at wide receiver and he can run some routes. So they can have 1 guy on the field and he can play 3 different positions.
You see how rare it is. You'll go to the next-gen stats. 54% of the time is the highest rate in the NFL of having 2 backs in there as they go traditional I formation here with Mostert as the tailback. And Juszczyk gets the carry. It looked like perhaps a face mask there, and there is the flag that time as Lawrence was in on Juszczyk.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 99. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. First down.
It was going to be an inside trap. Number 75, Lake Tomlinson pulls. Number 99, Everett Lawrence grabs it. And again, all year long, the penalties have been an issue for the Cleveland Browns. I believe they had 18 early in the season against Tennessee. The penalties went down, but again, 15-yard penalty. Freddie Kitchens has talked to his team, and he says, I'm not coaching them to do it, but they got to learn not to.
Yeah, they're averaging 10.3 penalties per game. That is second highest in the NFL. As Breida splits out to the top slot here. First down, Garoppolo goes over the middle as he looks to get it complete, and he does to Breida. There's only 3 yards there. That defense for Cleveland, obviously they got talent on the edge. The concern is what's happening at corner right now as Ward and Greedy are both out.
And when you talk to defensive coordinator Steve Wilks, he understands that they're a little depleted on the back end, but he believes because of his front, because of Myles Garrett and Olivier Vernon and Sheldon Richardson and Larry Ogunjobi, that they can get enough pressure to mask some of the young guys on the back end.
Steve Wilks, the defensive coordinator after his year as Arizona's head coach. Here's a reverse. Goodwin, the speedster, as he makes his way inside the 10. 15 yards on the run there from the former Olympian.
You run a reverse because the defense is too aggressive. Steve Wilks' defense loves to come downhill and be aggressive. So Kyle Shanahan combats that. We're going to slow you down with the reverse as Jimmy G and Breida are out front blocking. Kyle is doing a good job of offsetting what the Browns defense likes to do with some of his runs and reverses and things of that nature.
First and goal, play clock running down as Garoppolo goes to the end zone, and it's incomplete as he was looking for Kittle, but Randall had coverage on him.
You know, Kittle did a nice job of finding a void in that zone behind the linebacker, in front of the safety, and Jimmy G put it on him. Randall just made an even better play.
Excellent work with the left hand.
Yes.
Marius Randall to break that up. Second and goal now. 8th play of this drive.
5-1, 5-1. You're going 5-1. Push.
Juszczyk comes back to the I formation for Coleman, who gets the work, catches a seam, and spins his way close to the 5. Told you Coleman was out a couple of games with the ankle injury. Shanahan said to us, hey, when the practice week began, I didn't think we would have him, but he's looked good as the week has gone on.
And he loves him. He was with Kyle Shanahan when Kyle was in Atlanta, so he understands what kind of back he is. Physical back coming downhill, and now on this 3rd and goal. How creative can Kyle Shanahan be? That's number 95, Myles Garrett. Haven't heard his name at all tonight.
And up wide, coming off that right tackle edge to the end zone, and that is a touchdown, and it's Breida again. An 83-yard touchdown run, and now the touchdown catch.
Let's watch number 22, Matt Breida. He's going to be one-on-one with number 51, Matt Wilson. Just a little choice route. Matt goes this way. Breida comes inside, sets him up. That's an easy throw and catch for Jimmy Garoppolo. They call that a choice route. Breida has a choice. He can go inside or outside. He chose inside. Touchdown, Niners.
About as good a first quarter as Matt Breida can ever expect to have.
You know, Tess, you asked me a question in the open.
Yep.
Are the 49ers for real?
Cleveland's getting the answer, aren't they?
I mean, I just love what they do. Run game, defensive line getting after the opposing quarterback, play action. All the things that they've shown on tape are coming to fruition. And America gets to answer that question. Are the 49ers for real?
$14-0. Matt Breida, second multi-touchdown game of his career. Honors is TV's #1 comedy, and tomorrow it's all new with guest stars Dan Aykroyd and Katie Seagal, plus a family secret is going to be revealed. The Connors tomorrow at 8 p.m. on ABC. $14-0, just like that. Hilliard on the return. As Hilliard tries to stiff arm his way out past 20. Richard Sherman had the interception earlier, and he's mic'd up tonight.
Hey, let's keep it up. It's on us. It's on us. Hey, stay locked in. Y'all playing a hell of a game. Stay locked in, baby. Hey, we got to up the level. We got to turn it up another notch.
Remember, last year was his first season last year. He didn't have an interception, and now here he is with his second of the season. Now, how will the Browns respond? As Chubb gets the carry and forges ahead. And you think about, okay, what's the approach now? Will they stay patient in this early hole?
Well, that's the thing I want to see. You know, Freddie Kitchens talked to us about, you know, the formula for us, especially in that Baltimore game, was running the football. Freddie can't get away from that. You're down 14-0 on the road. It's middle of the first quarter. No time to panic. Continue to run the football and make the 49ers play you in an 8-man front. Then you can get some one-on-one matchups on the outside.
Think about Freddie Kitchens, his first year as the head coach. A year ago, he was responsible for 4 guys in the running back room at this time of the year. Now he's the head coach of the Browns. 2nd and 6. And Chubb, no, when you're patient, you commit to the run, good things happen like that. They move the chains with an 8-yard run there.
So far, so good. He's committed. Running the football, couple of runs, getting Nick Chubb going. Nick is the engine for this offense. I know America wants to see Baker and Jarvis and OBJ, but when they run the football and you can dictate to defenses, you have to come down and stop the run. You have to put that 8th guy in the box. Now you can get your wide receivers one-on-one matchups, and you can get them loose on the outside.
OBJ now in the backfield, and he will take the pitch with Chubb blocking in front. As Odell scoots out, Fred Warner was pursuing him. So we mentioned last week 2 catches for 20 yards, ending a streak of 60 games with at least 3 catches. That was 3rd longest in history. We talked to him. He said, listen, I'm all about winning. I want to be on a team that make the playoffs. But he says, I know what the narrative will become with everybody out there who just looks at the box score.
Well, he's a guy who likes to get numbers. We all know that. But he says he's patient. Very similar to LeBron James. When LeBron James has the ball at the end of the game and he passes the ball, everyone asks, how come you didn't shoot it? But he made the right basketball play. Odell is making the right football play, blocking, drawing double coverage.
2nd and 6. As that was Tart making the tackle after a carry of 3 by Chubb. So it'll be 3rd down from there.
And when you run the ball, you get in very advantageous situations like we have here. It's 3rd and 3. Your entire playbook is open. You can run the ball. You can do a little RPO. You can play action, whatever you want here.
3rd and 3. 4 straight runs, and now an empty look here for Baker Mayfield. Mayfield trying to get away. The ball comes loose. And the 49ers recover. And it's Nick Bosa with the football. So an interception thrown by Baker, and now he fumbles it away.
Let's watch number 99 inside, DeForest Buckner. He's going to be the guy that's going to knock the ball loose. Everyone else is Armstead, Bosa. But watch right there. Buckner reaches in. 5 first-round picks up front, and look at Bosa work. The effort, knocked on the ground, chasing after the quarterback, getting the ball. They want to win with their front 4. When you have those first-round picks, and you have all that draft capital, John Lynch, defensive coordinator Rob Saleh, they're winning with 4 good defensive linemen.
And now the 49ers take over inside the 30. And they go with a tap pass to Samuel as he stretches ahead, the rookie out of South Carolina, before Joe Schobert is able to tackle him. And now you gather the troops on the other side as Odell Beckham Jr. is talking it through.
Well, that's what you want to see. You know, the sign of a good team, when you hit adversity, hey, let's everybody come in here, let's regroup, and let's calm down. We don't want any bickering back and forth. So we saw Odell trying to get the troops and gather the troops together, see if it pays off.
118!
Breida tries to cut back. A flag comes in as he's able to keep his footing with that extra effort, but we will check on the flag.
Holding, offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
Let's go to Lisa.
I was talking to Matt Breida this week about being undrafted, and he said a lot of guys like me from small schools, Georgia Southern in his case, he said we get overlooked and we feel like we've got to prove every time we get on the field that we belong. His third year in the league, he's never started the season #1 of the depth chart, but has always made an impact. He told me he doesn't mind always being a backup. Of course you want to be the starter, he said, but I just want to play football.
Boy, and has he gotten after it so far tonight. 2nd and 17 after the penalty. Garoppolo, this is going to go underneath to Dwelly, who is driven back that time by the rookie Mack Wilson. He's out of Alabama. That's a loss of 3.
49ers are trying to set up a little tight end screen. They had Mike McGlinchey, the right tackle, out front. Really good job by Mack Wilson. You know, their regular linebacker, Christian Kersey, he's on IR. So now you have to put the rookie in. Mack Wilson, Alabama kid, really good athlete, came out of school early. He's having to learn on the ropes. Joe Sherber says, sometimes, guess what? I have to talk to him and tell him, hey, here's where you line up. But he is a really, really good player and really talented.
Your head can be spinning as a 21-year-old out there on an NFL field. So a 3rd and 20. Underneath, and Kittle will be chopped down at that original line of scrimmage by Demarius Randall. As they work their way into field goal range for Robbie Gould.
10-yard gain on the play, 4th and 10 at the 29-yard line.
Robbie Gould, who's been so reliable over the last 4 years. I mean, you look at that number there, 94.6 since 2016 on field goal attempts. That's the highest field goal percentage in any 4-year span in NFL history. This from 47. And it's no good. So Robbie Gould with a miss. You know, and Robbie Gould had made his last 16 field goal attempts here at home. But no good here after the fumble recovery. Prior to that, his only miss here at home in his 49er career was a year ago tonight. So it's something about October 7th that doesn't sit well with Robbie.
So now what do the Browns do on offense? Your defense is held up. You got a missed field goal. You got a little break. Baker Mayfield. The national narrative is he's a one-read quarterback. Are the Browns for real? This is a drive the Browns need to make a statement early in this game.
Chubb tries to weave his way ahead, and Tart gets his ankle after a 4-yard run. You sit there, you think about the turnovers for San Francisco. I know it's 14 zip. It could be much worse.
Yeah, it could be.
For the Browns.
That's why the Browns have to feel, they don't feel good, but they have to feel somewhat lucky with the missed field goal. Now they just need to mount a drive. Their defense has been on the field a long time so far. It's up to the offense now. Freddie Kitchens, get your young quarterback in rhythm. The 49ers are playing 8-man front football. They're going to stop the run. So I think the short intermediate routes are open, maybe even the seams. Attacking the seams of the defense.
You got that jumbo package in on 2nd and 6. Mayfield steps up in the pocket and gets it complete to Jarvis Landry. So a good chunk play and maybe some momentum here on the 25-yard completion with Jarvis Landry.
Well, you got Landry on Sherman. Sherman is trailing. You can tell his zone coverage. Landry runs up, runs an in cut, gets the football, and Bosa coming around. Mayfield does a really good job of feeling pressure, stepping up in the pocket.
Baker's first completion, trailing by 14. Glad you're with us here for Monday Night Football. San Francisco, one of the 2 remaining undefeated teams in the NFL. And they look it right now as we start the 2nd quarter. 14-0. 25-yard completion moments ago to Jarvis Landry. And can the Browns find some momentum as they try to set it up this time to Harris, who is taken down right away.
Nick Bosa, I love the effort chasing after the quarterback, but he's a technician. Watch him come off the use of the hand. Robinson has no chance. That's what makes a good defensive lineman. He talked about his defensive line coach at Ohio State, Larry Johnson, helping him out. He's a technician. He may not wow you with his athletic ability, but how he uses his hands may be second to none in this league.
2nd and 11. Chubb, as he is met. Leg drive that time goes ahead for 4 yards. Lisa?
And with Nick Bosa, just 1 sack so far this season, but he feels like he should be leading the league in sacks. He was telling me this week, so close, I've been so close. He says he's working all week, focusing on finishing. Now that his ankle is healthy, just conscious thought in practice that right when he gets around the edge, sticks his foot in the ground, and bursts to the quarterback. That's what he's focusing on.
And he's got that significant high ankle sprain he dealt with all August long. These are the down and distances where he can get after it. 3rd and 5.
Let's watch this defensive line in track stances come off the football.
Mayfield able to get rid of it, and sliding to the inside was Landry. That is 11 yards on 3rd down there to Jarvis Landry.
It's a good job by Baker. 49ers are in zone coverage. Baker sees the hole, anticipates the throw, and puts it in a place where only Landry can get it. Now the Browns have rhythm.
See these up and down moments with Baker Mayfield. You think about the conversation of where he is with the franchise and the expected trajectory. Get all the touchdowns and the yardage, you get the interceptions. And what can he come up with here? And around, Odell Beckham Jr. goes to the inside of that block and is then forced down. But that was a good run by OBJ before he's met by Jimmy Ward as he goes for 11 yards inside the 10.
America said, are you going to get number 13, OBJ, involved? It's a concerted effort tonight, whether he's throwing the football, whether he's running reverses, whether it's a fake reverse and come back the other way. Got to give Freddie Kitchens credit. He is getting Odell Beckham the football and trying to allow one of the better playmakers in the league to make a play.
Look, he's got more passing yards and rushing yards tonight than he has receiving yards. So, hey, they're getting him involved, just not the way you would think. 1st and goal. It's a great response by Cleveland if they can get 7 out of it. Chubb trying to get to the outside and unable to do so. Tartt and Bosa combining there for that loss of 5.
The hands of Nick Bosa and Tartt also, when you can use your hands and shed, watch him lock out Brown. Now he has vision on the ball carrier and you can come off. That is textbook from a defensive lineman. You don't see a lot of rookies play with that kind of technique. Usually rookies are trying to run around with their hair on fire. He plays with technique and fundamentals, and it sure is fun to watch.
Cleveland is going to use a timeout. It'll be 2nd and goal. You know what's very interesting here, Boog, as you think about the red zone production, and when it comes to Baker Mayfield, what we've been able to see last year, we saw him last year really completing passes, utilizing his weapons. He was nearly 65% completion percentage in the red zone a year ago. He had 20 touchdowns. Remember, he set the rookie passing touchdown record. Didn't have an interception thrown in the red zone last year. And then this year, his completion percentage is 25% in the red zone. Has thrown an interception, only has 3 touchdowns in the red zone, but 25% completions in the red zone.
Well, they're trying to help him. What happens in the red zone, the field condenses. Not only does the defense have 11 defenders, but you have the back of the end zone. So it's almost like a 12th defender. The windows are tighter. So Baker has to make sure that he anticipates the throws. He hasn't done a good job of that so far this season. Let's see on this big down here if he can do that. If Freddie Kitchens can dial up something, because the Browns need a score.
2nd and goal as they got pushed back to the 12-yard line.
And again, 12 personnel. There's your 2 tight ends at the top, 2 receivers at the bottom.
To the end zone and batted away at the last second by E-Man. Emmanuel Mosley, the undrafted player out of Tennessee, who's making his first career start.
That's a good play by E-Man there. You know, I thought Baker had number 83, Ricky Seals-Jones, going up the side, but he chose to throw across the middle of the field. Not so sure I wouldn't have gone to Ricky Seals-Jones, number 83. But nevertheless, here we have third down. It is 3rd and goal. You're in desperate need of a touchdown. They're in 11 personnel, and the 49ers are showing a blitz look.
Mayfield. Overthrown with a lot on it as he was looking for Antonio Callaway, who's back from the 4-game suspension.
Again, the 49ers are in zone coverage. You're going to bracket him. Whether it's OBJ, whether it's Landry, you got your linebackers dropping underneath. They're matching on the outside, which means if someone goes in your zone, you just take him. It's called a match coverage. Defensive coordinator Rob Salah with a good call there.
So Seibert on for the 30-yard field goal attempt. And Seibert is 8 for 8 on field goals this year. Remember what we said about Baker in the red zone. That's where he's struggling passing this year. NFC North matchup at Lambeau next week on Monday Night Football. The Packers coming off that win at Dallas. The Lions, they have been playing well this year. Stafford and Rodgers, 13 games head-to-head. Rodgers have gotten best of it with 9 wins through the years. Look at that touchdown to interception ratio for Aaron against the Lions. But I'll tell you, this Lions team is playing some really good football. Came up close against the Chiefs. Of course, last night the Colts solved the puzzle. Indianapolis was able to get that win in Kansas City.
They played really physical against the Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs are going to have to start to adjust to teams being physical with them.
So the Browns had 1st and goal, the 49ers 7, and settled for a field goal. And out comes Jimmy G. Jimmy Garoppolo. A year removed from the ACL tear. Tonight he's 6 of 9. Has the 1 touchdown pass to Breida.
He hasn't had to do much. I mean, with the way the 49ers are running the football, they got 127 yards rushing. So I think it's paramount right now for the Cleveland Browns defense. Issue number 1, stop the run. And then you can force Jimmy G into throwing the football, and maybe you can get some turnovers.
Well, the one thing is they didn't capitalize on the short fields that they were handed.
Correct.
Right? They had the turnovers, and they come up with a punt and a missed field goal after an interception and a fumble recovery. Garoppolo with some pressure there as that falls short of George Kittle. 13 starts and 11 wins for Jimmy G. You know, we talked to him about it yesterday. I said, you look at it, you're in your 6th year, you think about your experience. He said, I know the number says that I'm inexperienced, but I feel like a veteran. I act like a veteran. That's not his mindset, the 13 starts.
Well, Baker Mayfield has made more starts than he has. Think about that. So he's been in the league a while, but he hasn't played a lot of football, so it's paramount. You have to treat him like a young quarterback.
There's Juszczyk in motion over to the right. Where he goes is usually where the ball goes, and that is the case with Coleman. And Tevin Coleman showing you how explosive he can be, as he's able to catch that seam, following Juszczyk going ahead for 15.
Let's watch number 85 Kittle and number 44 Juszczyk as they come around the corner, just sealing. And now you got Juszczyk pinning here. It's a pin here. And once you get that, now Tevin Coleman can read the blocks and get downhill. The 49ers do a great job with their zone plays, their perimeter seal blocks, whether it's the tight end, the tackle, the fullback. That's well coached there.
Coleman shifts back in, flanking Garoppolo on 1st down. And he'll get the short pitch as he was chopped down and met right away that time by Justin Burris. Well, we talk so much about Juszczyk. He grew up, by the way, in Ohio, down I-71 as a Browns fan. He was the smallest kid on his middle school and freshman football team. And then he made his way to Cambridge, where he was a 2-time All-American as an H-back, a tight end. There's his mom, Sherry, there. He's a Harvard man.
And you know when Kyle Shanahan noticed him? When he played for the Baltimore Ravens. That's when Shanahan noticed him, and he wanted him to play for him.
Formation this time. Coleman goes ahead for 4, taken down by Schober. Always active in the middle of that defense. Had 17 tackles last week at Baltimore. That was a career high for Joe Schober.
You know, when you're trying to identify whether a team is for real or not, I think you have to start up front. Defensive line, offensive line, and right now the 49ers offensive line, Justin Skule, Lake Tomlinson, Weston Richburg, Mike Person, and Mike McGlinchey, they are taking it to the Browns defensive line right now.
Now, you didn't mention Joe Staley there. You didn't mention the 6-time Pro Bowler. He's going to be out another 4 to 6 weeks. He's dealing with a broken leg he suffered in week 2, and yet they're having this kind of success. And now coming in is Myles Garrett, his 7th sack of the season.
I've been waiting to hear his name, Myles Garrett, against Mike McGlinchey. Left hand on the outside, knocks McGlinchey's left hand down, then he dips the shoulder and comes underneath. And he talks about being Defensive Player of the Year, and he's openly audible about that. Well, he's got to develop a signature move. That's a good start right there.
And that's a good stop for the Cleveland defense. That is bobbled as Wisnowski didn't get a firm hold of that snap, but somehow was able to gather it and get it away. Myles Garrett taking care of business. Alongside Lisa Salters and Booger McFarland, Joe Tessitore with you here on a beautiful night in Santa Clara, California. The Browns are trying to go over 500 for the first time since 2014. Niners trying to go to 4-0, first time since 1990. Flag is down as Mayfield will bring it to the near side as he looks to Jarvis Landry again. An 18-yard reception as it stands right now as they walk it back.
Outside, defense number 91, line up in the neutral zone. This penalty is declined, the result of the play, first down.
That was on Eric Armstead. So the 18-yarder will move it ahead here. That was a good defensive stop moments ago from Cleveland, and now opportunity for this guy, Baker Mayfield.
Well, it's a really good read. The 49ers are in a 3-deep zone. They're going to give you those 10, 15-yard out routes. Baker did a great job of taking that, but it was all set up by running the football, coming out in 12 personnel.
Here's Chubb. As Chubb was tracked down that time by Warner. Warner had 123 tackles last year as a rookie. We had some great rookie linebackers last year, right? Darius Leonard, Leighton Vander Esch, and then this guy, Fred Warner. Probably didn't get as much attention, but he deserves it.
And now you pair Warner with Quan Alexander. They have a very formidable duo. They want to come downhill, and they run sideline to sideline. I like what they have, the youth in the middle with the 49ers.
There's Quan, his first year with the Niners after his time in Tampa. See Baker Mayfield shifting Antonio Callaway over. Play clock down to 1, and they're going to have to use a timeout. There was some confusion as to the alignment, and then OBJ was asked to go in motion. So Freddie Kitchens will talk things over with his young quarterback.
You know, you see that, you know, we've seen Odell Beckham Jr. at receiver. He's thrown a pass. He's ran a reverse. So we're trying to get him in different positions. And sometimes you don't practice all those things. You're watching Baker Mayfield in the red zone. Quarterbacks that play to the second level use their eyes. Baker Mayfield stared right at the tight end. Watch his eyes. You got to be able to move defenders with your eyes. Look at his eyes. He doesn't do it. He's staring right at the receiver. He had number 83, Seal Jones, up the sideline. Got to do a better job, Baker.
And here is Beckham Jr. in the backfield, but they go with the quick hit to Nick Chubb, and it works out perfectly. Eyes were on OBJ in the backfield, and instead it was Nick Chubb hitting the accelerator for 37 yards.
Let's watch number 72 here. Eric Kush on a trap right there. He traps DeForest Buckner, an inside trap, and away we go. Talking to Freddie Kitchens, they felt like they could get some traps because the 49ers defensive line are in those track stances. They're getting off. They're very susceptible to the trap play, and they hit one just now.
What a beautiful job Baker did selling that pitch to OBJ as well. And now they go with the screen to Chubb with blockers in front, and he's inside the 10. And here come the Browns. After the longest run allowed this year by the 49ers, Chubb has them in business. 12 more there.
Again, screen play, number 75, Joe Bitonio, number 72, Eric Kush, out in space. And now we're going to run the football with Nick Chubb. We're going to throw it to him. And America, here comes the Cleveland Browns.
Took advantage, got that nice defensive stop. They were able to dodge a few when there were turnovers, and the 49ers didn't come away with points. And now remember what we said about Baker in the red zone. Flag comes in. Field gets shorter, tightens up, and he has struggled a bit this year there.
Offense, number 11. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Not only what we said about Baker, but what we said about the Cleveland Browns. Penalties.
Obviously a false start, not an offsides there.
Exactly.
Nonetheless, pushing them back. So the red zone touchdown percentage, you have number 10 in the league in terms of offense productivity in the red zone against the best red zone defense in the 49ers. Fakes the pitch, comes back the other side. OBJ tries to get to the outside, and then he is met and wrestled with by Fred Warner. So the second and goal from there.
What a block by number 78, Greg Robinson. Look at him getting out. Look at the big fella. And then you get OBJ one-on-one. Fred Warner does a good job. One thing you can't say that they're not trying to get number 13 to football. They're doing it in a plethora of ways here tonight.
Second and goal.
I still would like to run the football, though. I don't want to throw the football every down. This is an optimal run down here in this situation.
They do so with Chubb as he tests that left side. He's able to get away for a moment, and then Ward corrals him. Good pursuit down the line by Jimmy Ward after Quan Alexander couldn't corral Chubb.
You know, the reason you run it there is because on third down, we know you're probably going to throw the football, but a good job by Quan Alexander there. I like Freddie calling that run. Now, what does Freddie Kitchens come up with on third down? 49ers are probably going to be in some type of zone coverage. The percentages say they play heavy zone. They're going to allow the defensive line to get after Baker Mayfield. Let's watch Baker Mayfield's eyes. Can he move defenders, and what is he looking at?
Landry and Beckham Jr. to the left. He looks to the right, and it is intercepted off the deflection. It is Williams, and he's on the go. K'Waun Williams cutting back to midfield. And the red zone struggles continue for Mayfield. His second red zone interception this year. Follow the bouncing ball off of Callaway and right into the hands of Williams. That 4-game suspension for violating the substance abuse policy, and now he's back tonight, and he bobbled that ball down at the goal line and went right into the hands of Williams. So once again, the third drive now starting in Browns territory for the 49ers. Garoppolo able to get it over to Kittle, and when Kittle turns the corner, he can really go, and that's a first down for the Niners.
Let's look at number 88, Demetrius Harris. He's going to run the defender off, and Antonio Callaway comes inside. Baker Mayfield makes a great throw. It's low and away. Callaway's got to catch that. I realize he's been suspended for 4 games. He's been off. He's been rusty. But when your quarterback puts you in position and your offensive play caller designs a play for you, that's a touchdown. He's just got to make the catch, and he didn't.
Yeah, you go through his time at Oklahoma, his rookie year at Cleveland, and Mayfield only had 2 interceptions in the red zone over those 3 years. He has 2 red zone interceptions now this year, as Breida just tries to fight his way ahead that time. But Olivier Vernon is able to wrap him up.
You know, the Browns defense they're trying to hold up. I mean, the offense has turned the football over. The defense has held the 49ers at bay pretty much. Now the offense has to get going. Can the defense do it again right here as the 49ers are in Browns territory?
Maybe a communication issue there as Jimmy Garoppolo switched helmets. Lisa will be on top of that. He's got the green dot on. Communication with Kyle Shanahan. Second down and 9. As Breida is going to cut back against the grain and then is taken down by Jermaine Whitehead. So Breida, the 83-yard touchdown to start the night. Then he had the touchdown reception as well.
It's just fun to watch the 49ers, how they run the football. Somewhere Alex Gibbs has got to be eating his heart out. The zone scheme, how they run it. It's like five fifth graders all in line. And they all going one way. And then you got 44 Juszczyk. He's cleaning everything up.
Now right now he's not out there. Saw him in the medical tent moments ago. There's Mostert on 3rd and 5. It was Richardson with the tackle with Mack Wilson.
It's going to set up a 4th and short here. Kyle Shanahan is thinking about going for it. The way they run the football, I think I may go for this right here. You got to have confidence in your offensive line. You got a good fullback, number 44, Juszczyk.
Fourth down and 1. And he's going to back this off here.
Yeah.
So we'll let that play clock
Timeout,
come
San
down
Francisco.
before they call the
Their second.
timeout.
This is a 30-second
So that'll be their
timeout.
second timeout. USAA and the NFL pay tribute to our armed forces through our salute to service, like Niners offensive lineman Ben Garland. After graduating from the Air Force Academy, serving 2 years as an active duty public affairs officer, Garland played for the Broncos. We saw him with the Falcons and then comes over to the Niners this year. He's currently a captain in the Colorado Air National Guard. We thank him for all his service through the years. Back up to Weston Richburg, the center, and this offensive line has been so productive to start this season. Big reason why they are 3-0. Let's see if that offensive line can get some push here on 4th and 1. Coming up on the 2-minute warning as Shanahan decides to go for it here. It'll be Coleman, and Coleman gets more than just one as he's inside the 20. An 8-yard run there on 4th and 1 for Tevin Coleman. Niners looking to bookend things here in this first half. They started with a bang on their first offensive play. What do they finish up with before the half? We'll find out after this. About why are the 49ers unbeaten? The running game has made things very easy. Look at their season average. Look what they've already done tonight in the first half. 166 against the Browns. Half of it coming on Matt Breida's 83-yard touchdown run that opened up the game. Tevin Coleman now at running back as he will try to get it to the outside. Catches a seam and into the end zone. Coleman. 19-yard touchdown run, Tevin Coleman.
We give the running backs a lot of love, but let's watch the center here. Number 58, Weston Richburg. The center snaps it, he pulls it, and he gets out. And when he gets there, a seal, and here comes Tevin Coleman there. They do a really good job. Athletic offensive lineman. You don't have to be 340, 350. Be athletic and move in space. You can play for the 49ers.
Tevin Coleman's first touchdown run as a 49er. Back healthy and explosive. He hits that next gear, and all of a sudden San Francisco's up 21-3.
We want to know if the 49ers are for real. I tell you what, this running game is. Juszczyk with the block, Breida down the sideline. Then you come with a little reverse. Debo to Godwin outside. Pettis is blocking. Then a little zone read. Tevin Coleman, again, 44 Juszczyk. how they run. Now you pull Lake Tomlinson, number 58, Weston Richburg. It is a master class tonight from Kyle Shanahan and this offensive line, how they run the football. 185 yards. They are physically dominating the Cleveland Browns at the point of attack.
Please look at that last number there. When you average 13.2 per, you're going to win football games. That was a brutal turnover, too, for Cleveland down at the goal line prior to that.
And you have to give a shout out, too, to the offensive line coach for the 49ers, John Benton. Kyle gets the love because he's the play caller. But John Benton coaches this offensive line, and he is doing one heck of a job.
There's Hilliard on the return for Cleveland. So they're going to have a flag come in at the end of that return.
Flag on the field.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 44. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Be interesting to hear what Steve Young and Lou Riddick have to say on the Genesis halftime show with Susie in terms of how they now think of these 49ers after this performance in the first half. And Peyton's places, as this week Peyton runs Jerry Rice Hill with the man himself. Of course, Peyton's places streaming on ESPN Plus. Special performance comes by 5 seconds of summer. And right now, Baker Mayfield has 1 minute and 48 seconds of this first half to try to make some magic. Desperate to do so, batted in the air and deflects away that time. It's been an active night by this front with Buckner and Bosa and company.
And let's not forget, Buckner, 6'7" inside, tough to throw. So not only is this defensive line a penetrating group, they're tall and long, and Baker's only 6 feet tall.
Now, Armstead is 6'7", Buckner is 6'7", Bosa is 6'4", but he can get up.
Yes, yes.
He can get up.
The Browns got to get this drive going. Screen play, something short, just to get some tempo.
Pressure again, and he goes down again. As is Nick Bosa crashing home on Baker Mayfield. 3rd sack tonight by the Niners.
Bosa's coming right at you. You got a little stunt going. Bosa inside is at the defensive tackle. Number 55, D4, comes around the corner. They slid Bosa down. Normally he's in the end. They put Bosa at the defensive tackle spot, and him and D4 ran what we call a TE. You can call it Tom, Terry, anything that says tackle first. That means the defensive tackle goes first. The end comes around, and Bosa just so strong inside, ran over the guard, number 75, Joe Bitonio.
He is so gifted athletically. He's got that great pedigree. Of course, his father, John, was a first-round pick out of Boston College. His brother, Joey, an all-pro for the Chargers. And then, you know, Robert Salah said, it is so cool we have our very own Bosa. That's what he said yesterday. Boy, he's getting the rewards here. 3rd and 21.
Now, if you're Baker, be careful. Don't make a mistake here in your own end zone.
As he sets up the screen to Johnson, and he is tracked down that time by Armstead. And the pursuit of this Niners front, as athletic a defensive line as there is in the NFL, and they are riding them to success early on this season.
Well, Armstead, he's long, he can run. I just like to retrace. Watch here. Now, you have a screenplay going. He is chasing down the screenplay. A defensive lineman, you get off, you rush, and then the effort. Defensive line coach Chris Kasarik, the pass rush specialist Chris Kiffin, they got to love what they're seeing now from this defensive line.
And now Gillen from just beyond his goal line as he skies this punt and drives James back to the 30-yard line. And James down the sideline cuts back on a good return for the Niners. A 58-yard punt and a 31-yard return from Richie James. Every which way, the Niners have it rolling.
James does a good job of filling the ball, and then it's a nice job by number 82, Ross Dwelly, putting his arms up, not creating a penalty, and allowing James to do the rest. 49ers are clicking on all cylinders. Offense, defensive line, special teams getting into it. Quite a performance coming off the bye week here.
And now 44 seconds remains here for Garoppolo. No timeouts as he brings Goodwin into the backfield, and now he circles around to the left. Garoppolo feeling pressure himself, and he is wrestled down that time by Chad Thomas. Here is Breida able to get out of bounds that time on what was 2nd and 13, leaving 22 seconds left in this first half. It'll be 3rd down there, an 8-yard reception. What a first half for Matt Breida. 104 scrimmage yards, the 2 touchdowns, and the 83-yarder where he went 22.3 miles per hour. That's the fastest a ball carrier has traveled in the NFL in the last 2 seasons.
Now with 22 seconds left, you don't have to just throw to the sideline. You can throw over the whole field. There's enough time to get up and clock it.
3rd down and 6. Cleveland brings 5, batted in the air, and that ball is incomplete. Mack Wilson got up to get after it, but they were unable to come up with the interception.
Oh, the big fella. Come on, big fella, catch it. Oh, the big fella. He's got gloves on his paws. There's no chance he's going to catch that.
Well, Devereaux Lawrence came up with his first interception ever last week. Couldn't come up with it there. He said that ball last week is going to his newborn daughter, Malaya. She's only 2 weeks old. And now the 52-yard attempt for Robbie Gould here. The snap was slightly mishandled, the hold. Remember, they're on their 3rd snapper this year as Garrison Sanborn, his first game with the 49ers, and a rookie holder in Mitch Wishnowsky. And Gould told us the other day this concerns him, the operation. As you say, Wishnowsky, they haven't had a lot of reps together, this group, as he's just lucky to get it down. Didn't get the correction that was necessary with the laces, and this was the concern. The operation. That was a choppy, clunky hold by Wishnowsky. Couldn't get the correction on the ball.
It's about the only thing they've done wrong tonight. You know, the offense, defense, punt return, missed a couple of field goals. That won't make head coach Kyle Shanahan too happy.
3 different snappers already this season, and then a rookie punter who acts as the holder, so just not a lot of time spent together to get that operation clean. Mayfield taken down again as he just gets rid of the ball. And it was Bosa. What a first half out of this rookie. And did you see him going with that flag motion there? If you remember what happened back in college, it was Mayfield who planted the flag up at Ohio State. Bosa getting revenge.
They try to double team him there. It didn't matter. Baker escapes the pocket. He doesn't know that the double team is on his side. He should have stepped up. The effort by Bosa.
By the way, flag is down at the 31-yard line. That undoubtedly
intentional grounding. Offense, number 6. The quarterback was out of the pocket, but did not get the ball back to the original line of scrimmage. This foul requires a 10-second runoff, so this is the end of the half.
Listen, one of the signature moments for Baker Mayfield when he was at Oklahoma was going up to Columbus and upsetting Bosa's Ohio State team. And he planted the flag at midfield. Well, guess who just got planted here in this first half? 21-3. Bosa was dominant. 49ers have the run game going. Are they for real? You're getting the answer. The Genesis halftime show starts right now.
You ready for some football?
Niners are trying to get themselves to 4-0. Are they off to a good start or what? And they're running the ball down Cleveland's throw to 185 yards rushing. It started with Matt Breida's 83-yard touchdown run on their first offensive play. But then when it comes to defense, Nick Bosa and what he is doing, and this is why you go where you go in the draft. He's got 3 tackles. He's got a sack. He has 4 quarterback hits, 2 tackles for loss, and 1 fumble recovery.
Well, what did we say in the open? They understand who they are. They're going to run the football with the zone scheme, 1 cut downhill. They're going to be physical. And on the other side of the football, the defensive line. They got 5 first-round picks. And that defensive front tonight has been led by Nick Bosa. Could be DeForest Buckner. Could be Dee Ford, Eric Armstead. Like, it could be a plethora of guys. They understand who they are. And Bosa's a technician. He likes to play in close quarters. There, you put a tight end on him. It's a mismatch. You put him at defensive tackle with a TE game, tackle first, in second. Then when you try to double team him, Baker Mayfield doesn't step up. He goes behind him. The tenacity and the effort that he plays with, it's infectious. He fits right in with this group in the other first-round picks.
And then on the other side, offensively, the bad news for Cleveland. Remember, they took the ball to start the game. So now San Francisco gets the ball to start the second half. And the 49ers offense, they have scored a touchdown on their first possession in the second half in all 3 games this year. As James had to tiptoe the sideline there and then falls out. Lisa.
I asked Kyle Shanahan what's the secret to the success on the ground tonight. 14 rushes, 185 yards, 170 yards before contact. And he said our guys are blocking well and our backs are hitting the holes fast. He said he also loves the way the defense is playing, creating turnovers, but he says we've got to capitalize on offense. I asked Freddie Kitchens, how do you turn this thing around? He said everyone's got to do their job. We've been at the 5 twice, just 3 points to show for it. If you have routes to run, run them. If you're supposed to protect, just do your job.
Yeah, Lisa, that's a good point. The 2 goal-to-go situations, and they come away with a field goal and an interception. 3-step and then quickly out to Goodwin. And the completion by Garoppolo as he's wrestled down by Mitchell.
You know, we're going to see really quick the adjustments that the Browns have made. You know, normally you go in halftime, coaches spend about 5 minutes. You have an opportunity to make 1 or 2 little tweaks, whether it's offensively or defensively. We're going to find out right now. Defensive coordinator Steve Wilks, what have you done to slow this running game down?
Hey, swoop.
2nd and 2. Stay on schedule on the short pitch to Breida as he is forced back that time. Good penetration by Morgan Burnett.
Well, that's a good start. If you want to stop the running game, you have to get penetration. The 49ers want to come downhill. You need to get guys in the backfield. At time, Burnett in the safety spot coming down, forcing the issue. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe we blitz a little bit more and try to force the issue.
And think about that number Lisa threw out there. 170 of the 185 rushing yards by the 49ers have come before contact.
Watch ET. Hey, you want to go here?
But now a 3rd and 6 to overcome here. Here's Garoppolo on 3rd down. Plenty of time to find the target and complete to Goodwin. There was some separation between the speedy Goodwin and T.J. Carey, who's starting in place of Denzel Ward.
Well, Goodwin has world-class speed. He does a good job. Carey sets down, he sits him, gets on his toes, and he runs outside, and a nice timing throw there between Goodwin and Garoppolo.
16 yards on that 3rd and 6. And then they can get back to business with this guy, Breida. As Breida is brought down by Richardson and Burnett.
You know, anytime you have number 44 there and 21 personnel, you know, you got Breida, you got Coleman, they're going to split time tonight. But anytime number 44, Kyle Juszczyk, is in the backfield in the home position, he will take you to the football.
Play action now. And with it, you get open receivers at midfield. When it works to perfection like that, and it did with Marquise Goodwin, 16 more yards. This is exactly what we wore in these second half opening drives by the 49ers.
You know, it's play action. Everything sets up, and right there, the linebackers are coming up, and now you create a void because the linebackers have come this way. The play action creates the void. That's how you take an offensive game plan and you help a quarterback only making his 14th start tonight. Nice, easy throw there by Jimmy G.
You.
Coleman now is the running back, had that 19-yard touchdown before the half. And he bounces it to the outside and then uses the block by Juszczyk and goes up and over to cap it. That was Randall who went low, and then Coleman goes high, 12 yards there.
Number 44, Kyle Juszczyk. I love this guy. He can do it all. He bends it all the way back, and he leads the running back outside. And then Tevin Coleman acrobatically getting flipped over there. This 49er running game is something to deal with.
White. Double.
Garoppolo, low but complete to Bourne. And Bourne still on his feet and twisting his way inside the 25.
Let's watch Tevin Coleman here. I love it when a running back helps his quarterback out right there. He gets Burnett. Now Jimmy G has time. And it's an easy pitch and catch there. All set up by the block of number 26, Tevin Coleman.
Hey, Susie. Hey. 5-3.
44 will take you to the football. Watch him.
As he picks up the block that time, but not much beyond that. Able to cut down Thomas, but then Equale with the tackle that time. This running game has been on point. Coming up on 200 yards rushing. Mayfield just sits back and watches this opening drive of the second half.
It's demoralizing. When a team can run the football, they'll take your soul away. And right now, the 49ers are trying to do that on this drive to the Browns.
Second and 9. Four-man rush. Score it, Kittle. And when you got one of the best tight ends in the league, that happens too. 22-yard touchdown catch, George Kittle.
Safeties are going to split. They're going to leave the middle of the field open. They protect it up. Watch Kittle run down the middle of the field. Schobert doesn't get enough depth, and now you have all this space.
Flag is down on the PAT. He is pumped up. Had the bye week last week. Took all the buddies on the team up to pro wrestling. And he's acting like a superstar tonight, isn't he? He is juiced.
Oh.
Okay, 12 men on the field. Defense, the 5-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
They are 4 for 4 on scoring touchdowns on the first possession of the second half this season. This time, it's Kittle. You know, we got a cleanup here administratively, John Perry. What's going on?
Yeah, unusual. The Browns had 12 players on the field and in formation, which by rule is a shutdown prior to the snap. So we're going to retry here. After a 5-yard penalty enforcement, 15 to the 10, we'll retry it.
After George Kittle had the 22-yard touchdown reception. His second 20-yard play this season. A little bit of a different role for Kittle this year with everybody back healthy. Last year he had 20 plays of over 20 yards, but they're spreading it around. They got the running game going. Everything is working for the 49ers.
You know, it's interesting, Joe, because Cleveland won the toss and took the ball. Therefore, the 49ers got the ball to start the second half. So when the Browns wanted to get some momentum, they took the ball to start the game. The 49ers get that drive, they go down, and now the Browns are really behind the 8 ball. Usually teams, when they win the toss, they defer.
Of course.
So they can get the ball after halftime with the adjustments and everything that's made. Freddie made a choice, and it backfired on him.
You know, and I made the comment to you, I said, yeah, maybe trying to keep the momentum from what was happening in Baltimore. They had the offense rocking, but definitely non-conforming.
It was different. He took a chance, and it backfired. He'll learn from it.
Freddie Kitchens, year number 1, promoted to the head coach after being the interim OC, was also the running back coach a year ago right now. You know, this is a guy, as we said, he was in the room with 4 running backs.
Right.
And now he's got the keys to the entire franchise. Real likable guy. Working his way up for many years, had a long run with the Cardinals, and now year 1 as a head coach. Hilliard's going to take this out. And he does so out to about the 23. Remember, Richard Sherman is wearing the Monday Night Mike.
Let's go, baby. It's time to eat. This is where you make your money. Get your money. Hey, it's where y'all making your money. Hey, we cover, y'all rush. We cover, y'all rush.
That's like music to my ears. We cover and y'all rush. I've heard that for years in Tampa and Indianapolis. It's fun to see it tonight here in San Francisco.
And the way Nick Bosa is rushing, it makes it easier to cover. Mayfield trailing 28-3 to the outside to Odell. It's 20-yard reception for OBJ.
Yeah, Sherman is in a 3-deep zone. The only thing he's worried about is not getting beat deep. That's not Sherman's play. That's the underneath hook defender has got to get out there. The 49ers will gladly give you that right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. You mentioned Freddie Kitchens and some of the growing pains, but you know, he feels, hey, this is a young team that also has to learn a lot. They have to learn how to win. They have to learn how to be conditioned to this level of expectation week in and week out. And the first down run by Chubb only goes for 2. He says he has learned not to really assume anything, because all the little things still have to be taught here and lead towards winning.
Even small things like how we practice, what we wear to practice, when we go to the hotel on Saturday night, where we go, how we do things. It's a young football team. They only have 15 guys on the team that have playoff experience, so they're teaching them how to do everything. And so America wants them to be Super Bowl contenders right now, but they're still learning and growing in Cleveland.
Of course, they haven't made the playoffs since 2002. Mayfield going to the near side downfield. Odell. And that is incomplete. And coverage came from Emmanuel Mosley. That was the matchup that everybody said all week long would be favoring Cleveland, with Mosley in for Ahkello Witherspoon, his starting corner, who's out injured.
He does a good job there. They call him E-Man, Emmanuel Mosley, man-to-man against Odell Beckham Jr. He does a good job of using the sideline as an extra defender. You pin Odell Beckham against the sideline, it's almost like you got a 2-on-1 coverage with the sideline as the extra man.
And now a 3rd and 8, and Cleveland's just 1 of 7 on 3rd downs tonight.
And reason being because they haven't been able to block the 4 guys up front.
Batted. That was Fred Warner coming in with the rest of them and able to get a hand on that.
And 54, probably the shortest guy getting up. Fred Warner, BYU product, led the team in tackles last year. Just showing good hops. And Baker Mayfield, because he's a shorter quarterback, only 6 feet tall. Sometimes he struggled. You can't throw over these guys. You got to find windows and lanes to throw between, and he didn't do that.
Yeah, that front 7 is so tall for San Francisco. All the 6'7" guys.
Yeah.
You get Warner's the short guy at 6'3", right? He's the little guy at 6'3", but he was able to get up vertical and slap that away. And it's a good pin punt this time by Gillen. That kind of night for San Francisco. ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you. And by IKEA, where whatever your dream is, we can help you make it. Back in December of '89 on Monday Night Football, man, Montana and John Taylor, what a night it was. Joe went for 458 yards, and Taylor had the 92-yard and 95-yard touchdown. as they overcame a big deficit against the Rams. Able to win that 30-27. That was the only time in NFL history they had a quarterback and receiver hooking up for 2 touchdowns of 90 yards or more in a single game.
It was always fun watching Taylor and Rice and all those slant routes that Steve Young threw.
Starting from inside the 5, this guy started the night with a big one. Matt Breida went for 83 yards, this time taken down by Schobert and Thomas. Now, Matt Breida was adopted by Terry and Mike Breida 2 days after he was born. His father, Mike, had a life-threatening meningitis case, left him disabled. His mother, Terry, was involved in a car accident in '06. All that adversity in this loving family, and Matt marries his high school sweetheart, Silvana, in 2018, and it's blossomed into a great-looking NFL player. And he's had a special night here as quickly out to Goodwin at the 12-yard line.
And that's just a bad throw by Jimmy Garoppolo. You know, as good as they're running the ball.
Field is an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
Now saying it's incomplete, it'll be 3rd and 8.
I would love for them to get Jimmy Garoppolo in rhythm. I mean, he's throwing almost off his back foot. That's bad mechanics by the quarterback right there. I mean, that's an easy pitch and catch. They're giving you the underneath throw, just bad mechanics by Jimmy G. If you're going to be a for-real football team and contend, your quarterback's going to have to make that throw.
That's a good challenge. Hands look to be underneath prior to the ball touching the ground. Take a look here.
Yeah, it looked like Goodwin had his hands between the ground and the ball, John Perry.
Hands are underneath. Does the ball move?
On the field.
Not enough. In control of the receiver. Hands underneath prior to the ball touching the ground with control.
Take a short commercial break. See what they say when we return here to Levi's. Lost challenge for Kyle Shanahan as the play stands. John Perry, you agree with that?
You know, I can see certainly why they do it. It is not clear and obvious that it's an officiating error. So they're going to go with the call. I like that offensive side of it, though, with the hands underneath. Ball doesn't move a lot, but I certainly understand stance.
Which is an incompletion. And thus a 3rd and 8. Garoppolo from a yard inside the end zone. Look at the extra fight that time from George Kittle. 11 yards on 3rd and 8 from Kittle.
Watch Kittle go up and run a little option route pivot outside. And just the extra effort. Easy throw for Jimmy Garoppolo. But once he gets it in his hands, he likes wrestling with a claw and pull forward there. And the quarterback's excited saying, let's go, baby.
That's all he was talking about pregame. He's coming over to me. All he wants to talk about is what was happening in the ring. So back to basics now with the short pitch to Coleman. And here's Coleman. And it just continues and continues with the running backs getting free against this front 7 of Cleveland. 15 more yards there.
Yeah, they do it a plethora of ways. Watch number 67, the rookie, Justin Skule, number 44, Kyle Juszczyk. They pull, they come around the corner, one kicks out. Now you have it here and there, and Coleman can get down the alley. It's just a good job of understanding how to block and who to block. You got to be smart, and you got to be efficient, and they're doing it right now in this run game to the tune of 215 yards.
And it's good you point out that left tackle, the rookie out of Vanderbilt, Justin Skule. He's a big part of why they have 215 rushing yards already. Now adding to it is Coleman. Skule in for Joe Staley. That got McGlinchey in his 2nd season out of Notre Dame at the right tackle spot. And there is Joe Staley, longtime Pro Bowler, and the broken leg suffered in week number 2. But when this offense is in gear, when they have it going their way with the outside run game and the play action, boy, it relieves a lot when the pass pro and everything this offense can be capable of.
The number one thing that an offensive lineman wants to do is line up and bludgeon you.
Yes.
That's what they're doing right now. Offensive linemen would rather run block than pass block.
2nd and 4. And get right back to it, but great penetration that time by Schobert. That's a loss of 1 from Joe Schobert, who has been very good this year. He came in with 44 tackles ahead of the pace a couple years ago. He went and led the NFL in tackles.
Yeah, you watch Schobert, not only him, but number 50, Chris Smith. gets penetration in the backfield. That's how you stop the run game. Get deep into the backfield, make the ball carrier cut. They've done it a couple times tonight. They haven't done it enough. Now they need to get off the field. It's 28-3. You're down a bunch. You got to get the ball back to your offense.
3rd and 5. Pressure on the left side. Quickly to Kittle. Met, spins free, and does it again. Clobbering and running over defenders. T.J. Carey couldn't contain him, and it's another first down by way of George Kittle.
You know, sometimes it's skill. Other times, Joe, it's just will. This is just will right now. We understand that Kittle is a skilled football player, but when you catch and you have 2 guys right there, Schobert and Carey to make the tackle, it's just the will of the player. 49ers are rolling right now, and this Browns defense needs to stand up.
Kittle has 3 third down catches. Breida couldn't escape that time, as it was Mack Wilson with the tackle, the 5th round pick out of Alabama. Breida and Coleman, that dynamic duo. They got Coleman back healthy, and you see how they're splitting the carries, and then you see the productivity. Both guys knocking on the door of 100-yard games, each with a touchdown. Breida also has the touchdown catch.
You know what happens when you run the football? This guy right here, number 95, Myles Garrett, becomes a non-factor when you run the football.
2nd and 10. They set up this fullback screen, and here's Juszczyk as he sledgehammers his way for another first down. That was Jermaine Whitehead who had to deal with Juszczyk at 240 pounds coming at him.
We've seen him block. We've seen him catch footballs. Now it's a screen pass. You got 2 linemen out front, and he just barrels it over. But how about the play call, though? The screen. We have the inside, the outside zone. We've seen a trap. Kyle Shanahan does a wonderful job of calling plays in rhythm. He's right up there with Sean Payton and Andy Reid and Matt Nagy and Doug Peterson, some of the great play callers in our league.
10th play of this drive. Time-consuming, grinding out yardage. Breida trying to get to the outside. Able to keep his balance inside the 40 for 3 yards. Tackled by Carey that time. I just love the big picture of what we're dealing with here tonight, of the reveal of what are the 49ers. Okay, so they're 3-0, and they grab that early bye week, and you think of all the pieces, the running back by committee, and what they have up front. You get a good look at them against this Browns team tonight.
They're a power football team, and what they do will travel anywhere, anytime, any place, any weather.
You lean on a run game, and you lean on a defensive front, and you're going to be having some successful football. 2nd and 7. Breida just coasting his way to the 20-yard line. 19 yards for Breida. As Juszczyk is slow to get up here as the training staff comes out. Breida's over 100 yards on the night.
Number 44, Kyle Juszczyk, at the point of attack. We talked about the ball carrier following Juszczyk all night long.
And take a break as they tend to Kyle Juszczyk. Be a first down Niners when we return. The thing Niner fans want to see is Kyle Juszczyk going into the medical tent moments ago. I mean, you've gone so far as to discuss him as the most valuable player in the entire offense.
Other than the quarterback, he is, because he's the key to their running game.
You know, and we're going to take a look at this. Both players are bracing. Yes, the helmets do make incidental contact, but the fullback and the defender both are turning their shoulder, bracing. That, in my opinion, is not use of helmet.
We saw Juszczyk reach for that knee right away. A first down for the Niners. Strive start at their own 4. Breida unable to get much on the edge that time. Just 2 yards there. That was the 12th play of this now 6-minute-plus drive for San Francisco.
So now without Juszczyk, the run game changes. So now instead of going so much in 21 personnel, which is 2 backs and 1 tight end, now you get a little bit more of 12 or 11 personnel. You don't have that lead blocker for the tailback to follow. He has to pick and choose his hole on his own.
And that's what they have here with the tight ends, the 1 back and the 2 tight ends. With Dwelley and Kittle in the game on 2nd and 8 as he goes underneath that time. And that'll go for 4 yards.
You know, it's 28-3 right now, and we're looking at this drive. But if you look at Kyle Juszczyk, right now, if I'm a 49er fan, to me, that's the most important thing tonight. Because we've established you can run the football, and the most important player to your run game is number 44, Kyle Juszczyk.
He's going on to the cart. So 4-yard reception by Kittle moments ago. It'll be 3rd and 4. Garoppolo on 3rd down on this drive. He's gone to Kittle for 11 and Kittle for 10 on a 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 5. 3rd and 4, who does he go to? That was nearly picked off that time, as it was Randall breaking on that ball.
Again, bad fundamentals by Jimmy Garoppolo. Late throw across the middle, should have been picked, throwing off his back foot. You know, I realize Jimmy is only making his 14th start, but he's got to continue to improve. It's a high-paid quarterback. They got a lot invested in him. And if you can run the football like this, you're going to get premier throwing looks, and he's got to be able to capitalize.
Much for the operation here with Sanborn and Wisnowski. And it is blocked. And here is Cleveland on the return with Mitchell. And he is wrapped up here. So now we had the issue with the hold earlier, and now a blocked field goal attempt here. That was Thomas. The get-off time was 1.44, and with that, Thomas was able to get in, coming in off the edge. Armstead tried to get a piece of him. You see him reaching out with that hand. So the operation, the field goal operation, now with the 3rd snapper and with the rookie holder, is causing fits for San Francisco.
Well, if you look at Armstead, he is supposed to slam down and punch out. Okay, you take the inside guy, and with your long arms, that's why at that position you usually have a 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" guy that has long arms so they can make 2 blocks. Armstead didn't do a good job of it there.
So a minute and a half to go here in the 3rd as Cleveland gets the ball back. And Baker on the in route. It was broken up by Williams. Remember, Williams had the interception earlier tonight on that ball that Callaway bobbled down at the goal line.
You know, the Browns are going to throw the football a lot because they're behind. Let's watch the eyes of Baker Mayfield. Is he maturing? Is he looking defenders off? Is he finding the open man? We can truly find if he's a one-read quarterback. Let's watch him now.
Now, that has been the recent criticism. Well-told headlines and sports radio fodder. 2nd and 10 incomplete as Ratley was the intended target on the sideline. And it'll be a 3rd and 10 now, as Freddie Kitchens looks into that play sheet.
It's 3rd and 10. You're down 25. This is 4-down territory. So if I'm Freddie Kitchens, in my mind, I'm thinking I got 3rd down and I got 4th down to get a 1st down. You have to possess the football right now. And if you're going to do that, then you better block number 97, Nick Bosa. And he's coming into your living room right there.
3rd and 10. Mayfield escapes for the moment from D Ford, backs up inside the 30, and then throws it out well beyond the intended target, Ricky Seals-Jones. K'Waun Williams was tracking every which way as Bosa and this group comes off the field with success.
I disagree with this right here. You're down 25. Why are you punting the football? Do you want an opportunity to win this game or not? I mean, at some point, you got to possess the football to score. Not sure why Cleveland is punting this football right here.
Scottish Hammer, the rookie, on the punt again. Grew up in the Highlands, came to the U.S. to high school, learned how to punt there as he pins it out directionally. He was the AFC Special Teams Player of the Month. One of the lone bright spots tonight for Cleveland, Jamie Gillan. Well, the quarterbacks in the NFC West. See Garoppolo there as he looks to come in for a smooth landing at 4-0. Russell Wilson is having a flawless start to the year. Goff had the recent troubles and then put his team in position to win, and then Kyler came up with his first win.
You know, if you were to handicap the MVP race right now, I'd go Russell Wilson 1, Patrick Mahomes 2.
Where's the name Christian McCaffrey?
Christian McCaffrey 3.
Oh.
That's where I'd go right now. That's how good Russell is playing the game.
Boy, oh boy. I can't get over what I'm seeing out of McCaffrey, boy. As Coleman shakes his way to the 15-yard line. Let's go to Lisa.
Kyle Juszczyk back in the 49ers locker room. We saw him taken back there on a card. Right now they're calling it a leg injury, not being specific, but we did see him grab his knee on that play test. His return is questionable.
Thank you, Lisa.
5-1. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Kyle Juszczyk anymore tonight. Let's hope he's okay.
So critical of the season they're putting together here. How instrumental he is for everything they want to be in their identity of their offense. Coleman taken down for a loss. Coming to the end of this third quarter. George Kittle had the touchdown reception earlier. That got us to 28-3. 4-0 awaits as long as they hold on here with this big lead. Joe Booger, Lisa, and John with you on Monday Night Football, 50th season of Monday Night Football. The 49ers have 244 rush yards tonight against the Browns. The Browns have 168 total yards. They have dominated with the run game. 28-3 for the 49ers, the unbeaten 49ers. Patriots, of course, at 5-0 already. Those are the two remaining. Third down and 9 for Garoppolo. And bobbling at that time was Pettis, but able to haul it in just before he goes out of bounds. Firm control, 2 feet in. 11 yards on 3rd and 9.
Looks like he gets 2. This will be a better shot right here. There's possession 1 with the toe drag. Great catch. Does the ball move at the end?
Boy, marker cam was a great look right there, like John Perry.
We get a challenge here, though. We're going to take a look at it. Based on what we've seen so far, the end of the play is going to be the key. Does the ball move at all? Because it certainly does appear as if he regains possession.
Cleveland
gets 2 in.
is challenging the rule on the field of a completed catch.
So the Browns challenge, we'll get the answer when we return here to Santa Clara. What a good one we have next week. NFC North, Lions and Packers. No way, Green Bay is playing right now at 4-1. What they did on the road at Dallas. As Aaron Jones, he had a career high 182 scrimmage yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, offensively they were impressive, but the most impressive thing is what they do defensively. Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, what defensive coordinator Mike Pettin is doing. Right now, they are looking like a complete football team and maybe the best team in the NFC offensively, defensively, how they complement each other.
The play stood moments ago as it completed. Catch there on the sideline. As Breda is probing for anything, struggling to get back to the line of scrimmage. Completely agree with you. With the defensive additions in Green Bay, they are just different.
Well, not only are they different, now the head coach, Matt LaFleur, he can call the game a little different. You don't have to be as aggressive.
Right.
He and Aaron Rodgers can kind of gel and mesh together. I'm looking forward to getting to Lambeau Field and checking those guys out.
Hey, don't sleep on this Detroit team now. The way they played Kansas City, some fluky things happened there. The 100-yard fumble return, the lateral at the end, desperation. score there by Kansas City. That Detroit team is playing some solid ball, well coached defensively.
They're one of a few teams that can play man-to-man across the board, led by Darius Slay.
2nd and 10. Garoppolo. He goes to the other side that time. That is Ross Dwelly with the reception. This is how the NFC North shapes up right now. Saw what happened with the Bears yesterday in London against the Raiders. And the Vikings, after all the criticism of where's the passing game, they had the remedy against the Giants defense yesterday as Kirk Cousins was able to hook up with Adam Thielen. Thielen had 130 yards and a couple of touchdowns in that game.
You know, but you get the feeling something is just not right between Diggs and Thielen and Cousins. I think something's going to shake out up there pretty soon.
Yeah, something's pretty much right with Dalvin Cook, though. He is having a great year. 3rd down and 10, as there was too much pressure and not enough time to set up the screen. That was Jermaine Whitehead charging in on Jimmy Garoppolo.
Amazing how the game has changed since Kyle Juszczyk got hurt.
Yes.
Run game has slowed down a little bit. I get it. We're up 28-3, but it just looks a little different without number 44 in the game.
He makes life very easy. So Landry back to field the Wisnowski punt here. As he calls for the scatter, and it takes a good roll inside the 20. Hey, you know, that was something we saw at the end of the first half with Nick Bosa. It was coming and just torturing Baker Mayfield in that first half. But you remember what happened a few years back, right? September 9th of 2017, when Baker and Oklahoma went up and they upset number 2 Ohio State and then the flag plant. And then this was the end of the first half tonight when Bosa had 4 quarterback hits, a sack, a tackle for loss, a fumble recovery. He said, oh, I remember what happened back in September 9th, 2017. I'm going to let you know it.
Oh, it's amazing, the memory of a football player. And by the way, that should have been a sack at the end of the half. Baker had the ball with his knee down. It should have been a sack.
You know, it's interesting. Baker brought up that play when we met with him yesterday. We asked him, hey, what do you think of this 49ers front? He said, I've played Bosa before. He just threw that out there.
Yeah, I know it.
It was in his thinking a little bit, and as well as with Bosa.
You know, but as you watch the 49ers team, we talked about their running game in nauseam tonight. They can run the football. But this defensive line, defensive coordinator Robert Saleh, defensive line coach Chris Kocurek, the pass rush specialist, Coach Chris Kiffin, this front 4 gives them a chance against any team because they can rush 4 and they can drop 7 and cover.
The whistles come in there.
Before the snap, false start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Enough about the run game. Let's talk about this defense. The pressure. Number 56, Quan Alexander, running over to number 25, the running back. Then the 4-man rush. We're going to drop 7 guys, eyes on the quarterback. We can do that because we have 4 guys that can rush the passer, and they do it very well. Then you get the tease stunt. Tackle first, in second. Bosa is at tackle, Ford is at end. They can do it with the best of them. Just a 4-man rush.
2nd and 12. He gets him again. The ball comes out, and Cleveland recovers. Nick Bosa has been unstoppable against Baker tonight. 4th sack for the 49ers.
Bosa one-on-one against Robinson. Just watch his hands, and he sheds. A little bit, not even a great move, but just turning his hips toward the offensive lineman. No wasted movements, and he talked about finishing. If he could have finished in the prior games, he would have 6 sacks. They said he's trying to make up for that tonight.
When you're the number 2 overall pick and you have this pedigree, this is what it looks like when it all comes together. 3rd and 22. And they're just going to play on a delayed handoff here as Chubb makes the most of it. But you think about the Bosa family, his father John, The two boys, John was a first-round pick out of Boston College, played for the Dolphins, and Nick and Joey, of course, Joey a superstar in his own right. Can you imagine the wars they had in the backyard and then going to the gym with Dad? DeBose is one of two families with a dad and the two sons, all picked in the first round. Of course, the Mannings would be the other family.
Well, and you got to give the dad just a lot of kudos, because these boys are technicians. They understand leverage. They understand how to play the game. So defensive line coach at Ohio State, Larry Johnson, their dad, they've all done a tremendous job getting these boys to play well and play with fundamentals and technique.
So we are gonna be here for when Seattle comes to town on Monday Night Football. What a showdown that shapes up to be, especially considering the way this guy is playing, Nick Bosa. Always, we remind you to stick around for Sports Center with our good friend Scott Van Pelt. Have the post-game reaction, all the discussions to frame what we see here with Booger and Ryan Clark. We're going to talk about what is next for the Redskins. One big thing is Jay Gruden has been relieved of his duties in the AL and NLDS reactions and analysis at Sports Center with SVP right after we finish up.
You know, here's the thing in Washington, what they need to do, they need to find a guy that can run the football operations department and allow him to have control.
Everybody points to the culture down there, what they've been witnessing through the years under Dan Snyder, going through the coaches. Kendrick Bourne with the reception there.
You know,
you see under Dan Snyder, the head coaches that they've gone through. I'll tell you what Jay Gruden, and listen, we know what we saw this year.
Right.
But that team and the way injuries got the best of them in recent years, there were times it just felt hopeless.
Yeah, you can blame it on the injuries, Tez, but you also have to look at the guy in charge. You know, when you have one playoff appearance, no wins, it just didn't look like the effort was there. You draft a quarterback, there's no tutelage going on. Hopefully something changes for one of the storied franchises in our league, the Washington Redskins.
Tough exchange there, and then Coleman falls on it. And the role that Bruce Allen plays there?
Well, allegedly Bruce Allen and upper management wanted the quarterback. Jay Gruden didn't want the quarterback, so now you have a lot of strife going on there. Okay, but Haskins is in the building nevertheless. Regardless of who wanted him, he's in the building. And when you have a young quarterback, what you have to do is construct your entire program around him. So right now, they need to put everything behind Dwayne Haskins, OC, offensive line, receivers, to get the best out of him.
And in the short term, we just keep hearing he's not even close to ready. We got a glimpse of it against the Giants. 2nd and 14, and penetration comes from Ogunjobi, taking down Coleman there.
They said the same thing about Jared Goff, remember?
Yes.
Jared Goff wasn't ready. He couldn't call a play on Hard Knocks. Jared Goff played in the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Because Sean McVay got there.
Things change quickly in this league, don't they?
And he coached up Jared Goff. So don't tell me what Dwayne Haskins can't do. Find somebody that's going to come in there and coach the young man up. He threw 50 touchdowns at Ohio State.
Right.
He can play football. Don't tell me he's not smart enough. Ryan Day, Urban Meyer, they know how to coach quarterbacks.
Yep.
Find somebody in there to coach him up. Bruce Allen, Dan Snyder, let's get that going. That's a storied franchise in the NFC East.
Quickly getting it to Deebo Samuel, and this is a glimpse of what Samuel can do as a flag is down. Look at the physicality, how he finishes here. That's exactly what they want to see out of him. He brings them something they felt like they were missing among these receivers.
Holding, offense, number 18, 10-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
You know, Boog, it's interesting, as you see, as it was a hold by Pettis, to have the discussion of the wide receivers for the 49ers, because there's been this common refrain of they don't have a number one. They don't have. Do they need a number one, knowing what this offense is?
I don't know if you need a number one, especially if you're telling me number 44, Kyle Juszczyk, is healthy because of his versatility. They're going to line up in 21 personnel. They didn't need a number one wide receiver tonight against a very formidable defense. The way they run the football, Kyle can scheme up. And he feels like he's got guys in the building. They're just young, whether it's Pettis or Deebo Samuel, guys that can develop and be playmakers.
Now, Trent Taylor's on the IR. Had foot surgery back in August. And Jalen Hurd, the rookie who they really were high on, he is injured and out as well, as 3rd and 27 is just a simple carry from Mostert. But Hurd was a guy at 6'4", 227 pounds. They thought like they got a steal in the 3rd round. They were hoping he would be back for this game, but he's dealing with a stress fracture in his back.
Yeah, and hoping maybe he'll come back, put him on IR. If he does come back, it's somebody that provides more versatility. He can be a wide receiver, an H-back, or a tight end. And number 13, Odell Beckham Jr. is returning punts, just trying to make a play.
At this point, they'll take anything they can get. They're going to bleed every second off of the clock. Wisnowski boots it away. And Odell from around the 35, one stiff arm, looking for an option, spins, tries to reverse course and fumbles. Fumbles the ball, and the 49ers recover. That was Marcel Harris on special teams.
He's trying to make a play. He's reversing field. Marcel Harris. The 49ers have it rolling offensively, defensively, and now special teams.
Richard Sherman's having a little fun with that score. He's got the mic on tonight.
Bullseye! Hey, bullseye! Let's go, T-Cole! Let's go, T-Cole! Okay, KB. Okay, get freaky there. Every play. Let's go. Listen, I'm not going to do this with you. I'm not going to do this with you. You're not going to hype me up.
The exchange with Ford is my favorite part.
It is, but let's break down with America what get freaky with it means. It means whatever play you're making, continue to make it at a high level, i.e. get freaky with it.
Richard spending time with Lisa on the sidelines. Always great production meeting when those two are hanging out together. As the flag is down.
Number 83, 5-yard penalty. Still first.
Lisa, what was he just telling you?
It's a little personal, Tess. I've always kidded Richard that for the last 8 years since I've been doing Monday Night Football, with all these interceptions he's had in his career, I have never been on the field when he's had one. So I always say to him, when are you going to get one when I'm here?
Got one.
And tonight, he got it. So he's just letting me know I got one.
Oh, he won't be bashful about telling you that. That's how he started off the night. Richard Sherman, 34 interceptions since 2011. That is the most in the NFL in that span. As Coleman goes ahead, 14 yards there.
I mean, it's an exhibition on how you block, whether it's the center, Richburg, whether it's the right tackle, McGlinchey, whether it's the young rookie, Justin Skule. They are putting on a clinic tonight in the outside zone. It takes smart, physical linemen, 261 yards rushing. There is clinic tape tonight that coaches across America can put on and say, you want to run the zone scheme, this is what you do.
Breida's got 114. Coleman's sitting on 97. And it'll be another first down. As Coleman's gotten extensive work tonight. We told you, flag is down. At the beginning of this week of practice, Kyle Shanahan didn't even know if he'd be available. He's coming off the ankle injury. We came to the practice at the end of the week.
Offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
We went out there at the end of the week. We saw Coleman practice. He looked as explosive as ever.
Kyle Shanahan likes Coleman. I mean, he likes all his backs. You got Mostert, who's a sprinter. You got Coleman, kind of the more physical guy. Breida, he's got that home run speed. And I think the most disappointing thing tonight has been just the inconsistency of Jimmy Garoppolo and the injury of Kyle Juszczyk. Those two things are probably going to bother Kyle Shanahan, but not much else because the way they play football tonight is really good.
Second and 11 after the penalty. As Mostert will get his turn, and he's able to get to that corner on the right side. This is a team averaging 32 points per game this season as they came into this week. It's third most in the league. You know, that question of are they for real? What do you say? You know, you get an answer when you have 5 turnovers in the game like they did against Pittsburgh and you still win. In this league, you turn the ball over 5 times, you got no chance. They did it.
Speaks highly to their defense. When you can turn it over and your defense goes out You know, Pittsburgh only got 6 points off those 5 turnovers. Sudden change, sign of a really good defense.
3rd down and 7 now. Garoppolo, oh, that was in stride. That should have been caught by Pettis. He put it right on his hands as he was streaking towards the end zone.
One of Jimmy Garoppolo's better throws. He puts it right in Pettis' hands. And if he catches it, he may score. When you run the football, you're going to get optimal looks. It's a one-on-one look. And Pettis, if he catches it, he hits his head on the goal post for a touchdown.
Now, Robbie Gould, who's been in recent years one of the most consistent we've ever seen. This is his first career game with 3 missed field goals. So this from 44. And he puts it through. John Lynch, your old teammate, general manager here in San Francisco. He's got to be happy with what he has seen with all the draft equity and moves they've made to have this defensive line and have this kind of talent up front to be disruptive. As here they are trying to go 4-0 for the first time since 1990. That is the last time that the 49ers were 4-0. Roger Craig was high-stepping his way to that 4-0 start back on October 7th of 1990.
I want to put some on your brain. Last time the 49ers went to the Super Bowl, remember this.
Yes.
Creative running game and a defensive line that got after the opposing quarterbacks. Creative running game with Jim Harbaugh and how they ran the football with Kaepernick. I know Jimmy G's not Kaepernick, but this running game has been efficient tonight. When you can run the football and you can pressure the quarterback with 4, you're ahead of a lot of teams in this league.
It's been efficient. It's been abusive to that Cleveland front. 31-3. Tough night for that guy, Baker Mayfield. Turnovers in that first half.
A lot's been made. Is Baker Mayfield a one-read quarterback? What does he do? Zone coverage. Richard Sherman gets up. Now he's looking, but notice how he's panicking in the pocket. He's looking around, trying to play backyard football. Doesn't have protection. And here, this is not on Baker Mayfield. This is a good play design, a good throw. Callaway doesn't get it. Here, Baker Mayfield again. His first read's not there. That's not on Baker. So those plays we saw, 2 on Baker, 1's on Callaway, the other one is on the protection. So kind of an up and down night for Baker Mayfield. And a lot has to do with the Browns not being able to run the football consistently.
And Garrett Gilbert is now the quarterback for Cleveland. So Baker Mayfield is out of the game, and a lifelong family friend of Baker Mayfield, Garrett Gilbert, is in the game. And he was the star quarterback at Lake Travis High School in Austin, Texas, before Mayfield went on to star there at the same high school. Originally drafted by the Rams a few years ago, but then most recently we saw Gilbert in the Alliance of American Football. He was playing for the Orlando Apollos. He was leading that league in yards and completions and passer rating before it folded up, and here he is now as Mayfield's backup, as Chubb can't find hardly anything there. So Nick Chubb, after last week, Boog, 165 rushing yards, the 3 touchdowns, a spectacular 88-yarder at Baltimore. You come in here and you get behind early, and it really takes them off course of what they want to be.
Yeah, you know, Freddie told us he wants to line up and run the football. Chubb, 16 carries, 87 yards. The stats don't look too bad, but the impact wasn't there tonight. There was not the impact, how they control the game against Baltimore. Freddie, Baker, the offensive line, they're going to have to go back and regroup.
3rd and 6, as that is knocked away by Quan Alexander as Gilbert was trying to get it completed over the middle. Then there's that stretch of games here until they get to an easier stretch on the back half. And the Seahawks and that Patriots still to come for Cleveland.
That's a tough stretch. Seattle, you get them at home. They've already lost 2 games at home to the Rams and to the Titans. The Patriots maybe playing the best defense in the National Football League. The Broncos get a win yesterday. Buffalo, Detroit, New England. 3 teams that can play a lot of man coverage. So that schedule is a very daunting schedule.
As this runs its way into the end zone, coming up on 3.5 minutes to play, 71-yard boot from Gillen. Meanwhile, the 49ers at the Rams. Redskins, obviously, you know what that is. And then there it is, Week 10, Monday Night Football. This NFC West is going to be fascinating now to consider what we know the 49ers to now be, what we've seen out of the Seahawks, and, of course, the Rams. But Monday Night Football, the Seahawks will come to town November 11th.
All that schedule, everything, how I view this team is going to depend on the health of number 44, Kyle Juszczyk. They can beat any team on that schedule. If he's healthy and he's playing, that's how valuable he is.
Raheem Mostert, as he was dragging a defender ahead for 3 yards there.
You know, if I'm a defense playing the 49ers test, I'm going to bring 7, 8, 9 guys down if I have to. I'm going to put the ball game in Jimmy G's hands. I'm going to make Jimmy Garoppolo beat me. Because what I've seen tonight from Garoppolo has kind of been up and down. You know, there was a play, made the receiver make a tough catch. He was wide open. I know Pettis dropped one. But the consistency level of Jimmy Garoppolo is not there yet.
Of course, coming off a knee injury from a year ago, says he trusts it, he feels good, no issue there. Mostert goes ahead for 2 yards there. Now just think of where are the Browns right now. This is the team that was one of the big talking points of the NFL offseason. All the hype, all the talent, how it comes together. And then they come out week 1, they get just absolutely punched in the face by Tennessee, a Jets team that was stumbling and bumbling with the quarterback situation. And then you know what happened at the end of the Rams game at home with the play calling that was questioned. Baltimore, it looks like, okay, they found themselves, and now this. It is a roller coaster ride. You can't win on talent alone.
No, you can't. And against Baltimore, they ran the football. They didn't turn the football over. Tonight, they got 4 turnovers, and the running game just hasn't been as efficient as it was, and they can't stop the run.
As you see right there, as that'll take us to the 2-minute warning, as Mostert adds to this total of the run game for the 49ers. Monday night theme from the Allegre sisters on the Baywater Trail here in the Bay Area. Soothing music, and Baker Mayfield could use some soothing tonight as they were trounced by the 49ers. For Baker, his first career start without a passing touchdown. His lowest passing yardage total in a start in his career as he finished right at 100 yards. That's it, 100 yards. And the worst completion percentage in a start in his career, as he was 36% tonight.
It was a thorough beating, and I think Freddie Kitchens has got to go back to the drawing board. He tried to come out with a very similar game plan as they had last week. A lot of 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends. Tried to stick with the run, but when you turn the football over on the road, when you commit penalties, they even had a concerted effort tonight to get OBJ involved early on. He was throwing it to reverses, doing whatever. Everything that you think would be successful for this team wasn't. So they got to go back to the drawing board in Cleveland.
And for the 49ers, all the questions, yeah, 3-0, but really, and here they are. Here they are. Are they for real? How's 31-3? How's 4-0? The first time the 49ers are the NFC's only remaining unbeaten team since 1984 when they were 6-0. This is the unbeaten team in the NFC, folks. You got the Pats in the AFC, and you got these Niners. The 49ers with their 49th win all time on Monday Night Football. That is the most in the history of this series. Number 49 for the 49ers. It started with Breida, the big 83-yard rushing touchdown, and it really never stopped as they ran for 275 yards on the Browns. Next Monday, we've got a good one. It's the Lions in the Packers in an NFC North contest as we get ready to send it to the Ram Trucks post-game report on SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt. For Lisa Salters, Booger McFarland, and John Perry, I'm Joe Tessitore saying enjoy the rest of your night with SVP right now.